Hello everybody, welcome to this Verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy and today's class is all about living in big cities and the pace of living in big cities. So is it a fast-paced lifestyle, and is it possible to slow down the pace even if you're living in a city as opposed to the countryside? We often think that, you have a more relaxed, slower, quieter life if you live in the countryside, but is that actually true? We're going to look at some cities that are changing the pace of lifestyle, and we'll talk about where we live too. So do come along in if you have booked a slot in today's class. While we're waiting for everybody to get here, I just want to share two things that might be of use to you. Into the first one, I'm going to put in there if it's working. All right, we might do these into the Google as well. That's my Facebook page. If you're a Facebook fan and you generally check Facebook 10 million times a day, maybe not quite that many, you might want to think about following a few Verbling teachers. And then you can keep an eye on their updates and follow them throughout your week. Perhaps it will remind you to get back to some English studying. Perhaps it will lead you somewhere interesting that has something to do with English learning or studying. So that's a really good thing if you are on Facebook. The second link there is to my Verbling teacher page. If you are new to Verbling and you're not sure what's going on, but you like the look of things, you can check out a few of the Verbling teacher pages. And this is where you will find all the information that you need to know about each teacher on Verbling. So you can take a look at the teacher's welcome video, and also some clips from their classes, so you can see what kind of things happen in those classes. We're quite a diverse range of teachers here from different places with different accents. There are obviously classes directed towards different ability levels. So do check those out and see what you think. If you have any questions, you can get in touch with us using the messaging feature, which you'll also find on the Verbling teacher page. And probably the most important thing over there is actually the teacher's calendar, so you can have a look and see when their classes are coming up, and also when their tutoring sessions are available. So if you're interested in attending one of the classes with a particular teacher, and if you would like to have a one-on-one private tutoring session, then you can book that straight from the teacher page. So both of those pages are really handy, and we're now going to say hello to the lovely Anna. How are you today, Anna?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. And you? What have you been up to?
Thank you, Anna. I'm doing really well. I've been up to lots of different things, actually. I've been doing a bit of translating in the past few weeks, so I've been doing less Verbling classes.
Yes, unfortunately.
Back. Yeah. Sorry.
All right.
What were you going to say?
Okay.
Okay. Wonderful. I noticed that you have a picture of a very important person today, Anna.
Yes, I love Harry Potter, all books and movies,
Wonderful. So you're a Harry Potter fan?
A die-hard fan.
And you're a die-hard fan. Me too, Anna. Who's your favorite character?
Yeah.
Do you like Hermione?
Yes, a lot.
Why do you like her? Why is she a good character for you?
Well, she's a witch. She's smart, knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know. This kind of movie. My gosh, it makes us dream a lot, And when you get to one of the J.K. Rowling books to read, you cannot stop to the end,
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. I think you're trying to say maybe that it sparks your imagination. It's like, I don't know. I think she's managed to create a very believable, interesting world. So you can imagine everything.
Exactly, and it makes us to feel like children again.
Yeah.
When I went to the Universal Studios, I bought a lot of silly films, as
Mhm.
I was a child. And
Yeah.
when I went in the simulator, the Harry Potter simulator, oh my gosh,
Oh, really? What's
I
the Harry
enjoyed
Potter
it.
simulator?
The simulator, I enjoy it very much.
Awesome. Well, I am a massive Harry Potter fan as well, so there you go. We have that in common, Anna. All right. Welcome. Let's say hello also to Hamad. Hamad, are you there? Hello? Can you speak to me? Can you say anything? Are you able to hear me? Nope. All right. Well, this is rather strange. Hamad, maybe if you could try exiting the class and coming back in again, then perhaps the connection will work. I'm not sure if there's a problem. And you can hear me okay, Anna?
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you crystal clear, but the sound that is coming from a microphone, oh my gosh.
It's a bit
I,
crackly, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah. Okay. Hamad, see what you can do. See if you can sort out your problem. Um, and I'm not sure whether everything's working okay with this class, considering we should have some more students by now. But okay, we're just going to continue and hope for the best. So, Anna, tell me just a little bit. Where do you live at the moment?
I live in a small town by the
Hmm.
ocean in the
Yep.
southwest of Brazil. It is located in Rio de Janeiro state, and it is called Angra dos Reis.
Hmm.
It has 365 islands, more than 2,000 beaches, and it is a touristic city. It's
Okay.
very, very beautiful in the ocean, but the town itself is a bit sketchy.
Okay. Nice description, by the way. Thank you for that. I'm going to come back to you in a moment because I would like to just find out where we all live because it's quite relevant to today's topic. So thank you, Anna. I'm going to say hello to Aaron. Hello, Aaron.
Hello, nice to meet you. Can you hear me without problems?
Yes, I can, Aaron, and it's nice to meet you too.
You're welcome.
And how are you? Where are you from, Aaron?
I am from northern part of the Mexico, close to the United States border,
Okay,
close to Texas.
right. Awesome. And tell me just one or two things about yourself. What do you do? What's your job? Are you a student? Why are you learning English?
Um, well, it's common here that young people can speak English,
Hmm.
but sometimes in the job you need to improve your level
Yeah.
because the English is a difficult language.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know for the job is so important.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not required, but when you go to shopping to McAllen, for example,
Hmm.
it's not too necessary to speak English, but because the attendants of the stores are bilingual, speak Spanish and speak English, no
Hmm.
problem. But in my job is very necessary because I am a system engineer and all
Yep.
the technologies are in English.
Hmm.
Microsoft, the big companies, technology companies are from the United States.
Hmm.
The English is the standard. Is
Yeah.
the standard.
All right. Well, congratulations on attempting such a noble act of learning another language. It's awesome, and I can hear that you are already very good, Aaron. So let's help see if we can help you improve today a little bit. Um, so you said you're from the north part of Mexico. Are you from a particular city, or do you live in the countryside?
Yeah, I am living in Monterrey.
Mm-hmm.
Monterrey is the third city in
Yep.
Mexico.
Okay, so
The
big.
third biggest city in Mexico.
All right. Okay, so you're from a big city, and what kind of city is it? Would you say it's pretty? Is it industrial? Is it tourist? Is it near the beach? What kind of city is it?
It's like dry. It's a desertic area from Mexico,
Yep.
like uh, the Roadrunner cartoons. It's like
Yep.
but these years it's rain a lot because the El Niño phenomena
Yep.
is raining a lot. It's an industrial city. Monterrey is an
Mm.
industrial city
All
close
right.
to the mountains, the Sierra Madre mountains.
Wonderful. Okay, so that's really interesting. We've got two people from very different parts of the world so far, and Hamad, we're hoping that you're going to come back and say hi to us soon. Um, All right, so what we're going to do, everybody, is we're going to read a little bit about this article from a website called Yes Magazine. This is actually obviously a magazine as well. And I sometimes read this when I feel a bit down about all of the bad stuff that's happening in the world because it's really positive and tells you a lot about people who are doing kind of amazing stuff. So if you've never looked at this website before, you might want to check it out later. And one of the article that we're going to be reading in today's class is from this website. So, as we usually do in this case, is we're going to be practicing our reading a little bit, but also talking about what we read together so that we can learn some new words and do some speaking practice. So we'll read a section and then we'll pause, we'll talk about it, and then we'll carry on. So I'm going to ask Anna, are you back?
Yes, teacher.
Great. All right. Could you start us off with the title and the little introduction part?
Sure. Big city living may help you slow down, stress less, and be happy. Really. From New York City to Barcelona, cities across the world are turning to slow living to make their communities happier and healthier in the face of increasing urbanization.
Wonderful. That was beautiful. Thanks, Anna. All right. So as we've read the intro, first of all, does anyone have any questions? No?
No
All right.
questions so far,
No, no
thank you.
question.
Good. Okay. The second thing I want to ask you is if you had to tell me sort of roughly how fast or slow paced your life is because of where you live, what would you say? So let's see first of all what Aaron has to say. How fast paced is your life, Aaron?
Well, currently I am working in a big city. Um, is I feel is fast than I was living in another city in the part of the central part of Mexico called Aguascalientes. Is
Yep.
where the Nissan plant is a big Nissan plant
Mm-hmm.
located here in that place. I feel the living, the cost of the living is cheaper than here. Here in Monterrey is like Cancun. It's the same cost. It's very
Uh-huh.
expensive. The trajectory that you need to travel to work to the job is more long,
Yep.
and you spend more in gas. It's very fast because usually people spend 1 hour
Mm-hmm.
to to go to the job to work. Compare is better compared to Mexico City. People use 2 hours
Oh
to
my
go
goodness.
and two
Yep.
hours to back.
Mhm.
Is 4 hours. Usually people accept that. It's normal to four
Mhm.
hours in Mexico City, but here is usually 2 hours and or 1 hour half to work, to go to the work.
Wow.
Um,
Okay. Thank
yeah,
you. That's very
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, keep going. Did you have more to say?
And no, I wanted to change to give the chance to my classmate to speak.
Thank you, Aaron. Very
Uh-huh.
polite of you. So from what I can tell, it sounds quite fast-paced, but not as bad as the capital. But definitely significantly more than where you used to live, right? All right, that's great.
Right, right.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Anna, your turn. So tell us, you've just given us a really lovely description of your where you live. How fast-paced is your life?
Okay, teacher. Even though living in a small town, uh, I don't have a laid back lifestyle because I have to work from 8 to 5
Yep,
almost every weekdays.
yep.
But on Thursday I have to work till 8 p.m.
Mhm.
and I also have to work out to study English, so I am always busy as a bee. But yes, but the latest days have been very calm
Mhm.
and peaceful because we are on strike. So
You're on strike. Mhm.
yes, so but for me it's like being in staycation, because I don't have to work, so I've been enjoying the opportunity to catch up my English, to
Mhm.
rest a little, and
Yeah.
that's it.
All right. Very interesting. So, even though you live in a small place, you feel like you have a fast-paced lifestyle. Thanks, Anna. Let us just say hello to Natasha, who's recently joined us. Hello, Natasha.
Hello, Ami. Hello, guys. It's really nice to see you, to meet you, to hear you.
Well, it's great to have you too, Natasha. Welcome.
Thank you.
We've just been talking about where we live and how fast-paced or perhaps slow-paced our lifestyles are, and whether or not it's dependent. But we're going to talk about that a bit more. Whereabouts do you live, Natasha?
I live in Minsk, in the capital of Belarus, but I have had experience living in St. Petersburg, where I have been live for maybe 4 years. Uh,
Okay.
so yes, Uh, so I can say you that in Minsk, in St. Petersburg, people have a hurry pace of life, but I suppose that in St. Petersburg, people more hurry always. I mean, in any time of day. It's in night. It's in night. In the in day and so. I don't know. Maybe it's related with that St. Petersburg is really a very big city, and sometimes. But not sometimes where I have living there. I try almost hour and a half by trying to get to my job.
Okay. All right, that's very interesting. So, thank you for that little comparison between Minsk and St. Petersburg. So you think it definitely does depend on the size of the city that you're living in?
Yes, yes, I agree with that point of view.
All right, thank you, Natasha. Very interesting. Um, Before we continue reading, I'll also say hello to Jose. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Jose. We're just talking about where we live. We're reading an article today about big city living and whether
Okay.
or not we can have a slow life in a big city. Can you tell us a bit about where you live and how fast-paced your
Yes.
lifestyle is?
I'm from Spain. I live in Valencia.
Mm-hmm.
Valencia is located in the east of Spain.
Yep.
Valencia, we are around 1 million of population. I live in this country.
Mm-hmm.
We This country is not a small country, it's a big country.
Yep.
Uh, we have a lot of tourism and a big manufacturer of cars,
Yep.
Ford Motors Company.
Okay. Thanks. Um, just your pronunciation of the word east, Jose. So be careful between east and
East,
west. Yeah.
east.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome, because otherwise it sounds maybe like you might have said west. Okay. Thank you, Jose. So let's continue reading. We've read the intro, guys. You haven't missed a lot. If you want to follow this article, I'll repaste the link for you into both of the chat boxes, and you can load that up or just follow along. I'm going to get Aaron to read from the industrial city, please. Aaron?
Mm, the industrial city of Wenzhou, China, population 2 million, is currently known for its rapid development as economic hub, but some residents hope it might someday be known as a slow city. Continue?
Yes,
I can
please.
continue? Okay. Recently, a delegation of Wenzhou citizens visited the Tuscany headquarters of Sears Law, an organization credited with starting the Slow Cities movement. The delegation was concerned about the side effects of hyper-fast paced life and wanted to learn more about how living slow might preserve cultural heritage in China. The delegation visited local markets and artisan studios, including a shop where the Italian, Italian and Italian art and handmade shoes is still practiced. The artisan they met emphasized, eh, how do you pronounce that?
Emphasized.
Emphasized the role the citrus law has played in persevering the values of craft like shoemaking that are only possible with a great deal of time invested and a strong local economy.
Thank you, Aaron. Well done. Okay, I've just got a few words to go through with you quickly. So this one is
Uh-huh.
pronounced known. Known.
No.
Yeah, well done. Perfect. This one is credited.
Credited.
Yes, excellent. And the last one, preserving.
Preserving.
Well done. And then this one you asked about, so let's just do that one more time. This is emphasized.
Emphasized.
Thank you, Aaron. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about vocab or any of this that's not clear? All right, we all understand? Yeah. Perfect. So I'm going to ask Natasha. Natasha, could you just quickly tell me what did we just find out about this place, Wenzhou in China?
Okay, according to this article, Wenzhou is the industrial city of China, but in spite on that, this city are known how a city with slow movements, and writers ask how people can preserve slow pace of living and at the same time by its people can preserve their cultural and historical habits and heritage
Yeah.
in China.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Natasha. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Amy. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yay, Hamad, welcome.
I am fine, thank you.
It's great to
Finally,
hear you.
I
Yay.
yeah, I
All right.
didn't know what's the real problem, but I did it.
Excellent. Congratulations. Hamad,
Thank
well,
you.
could you carry on reading for us in that case? So could you read here from the United Nations?
Okay. The United Nations projects that nearly 70% of the world population will live in cities by 2050, and or I can say 2050.
Yeah,
And
either.
indeed, yes, and indeed, the industrial and economic hubs of the world may be the last place that evoke ideas about living slow. But with inevitable population growth in urban areas on the horizon, many cities governments are trying to make their communities more enjoyable to live in and less destructive to the environment.
Great. Could you also read this little quote, please?
Oh, okay. Every city has a unique personality that can be preserved and a local community that can be strengthened.
Thank you. All right. Let's just do a couple of words. This one here is a bit confusing because we're not sure how to pronounce it until you know the context. But actually, this is the verb to project. So it should be pronounced projects.
Project.
Thank you. Thanks, Emma. Oh, obviously, it can be pronounced projects or projects with the emphasis on the first syllable if it's a noun. But because it's a verb, we have to emphasize the second syllable, okay?
Okay.
The other one here was horizon, Hamad. Horizon.
Horizon.
Yeah, well done. Perfect. Okay, any questions?
I have a question about how pronounce live or live. Live or
Okay, that's another problematic word. In this case, and in most cases, we pronounce this live, Aaron. If it's the verb, it's always pronounced live, okay?
For
However,
example,
yeah.
my job use a lot of meeting called link. We make live meetings um, or live meetings. How is the more correct about the context?
Okay. Yes, in this case, in that particular case, because you're using it as an adjective, we pronounce it live, and basically live means happening right now, yeah? If you're talking about TV or something, we're broadcasting live from the Olympic Stadium. We pronounce it live. Also, live is used when we're saying that something is alive. So you might say some live samples of, I don't know, something. That's the same pronunciation, okay? But if you're talking about where somebody inhabits, the place they inhabit, it's pronounced live.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, that can be a bit confusing. So good question. Any other questions?
Yes, teacher.
Uh-huh.
I have a question. I should have asked before. What does exactly economic hubs mean?
Okay, good question. Does anybody know what the word hub means?
Means like
Yes.
centers of something.
Yeah, exactly.
Headquarters.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Aaron. Exactly right. It means the center, really. So the hub of something is where all the activity takes place, the center of activity. So economic and industrial hubs are the centers of activity, in particular industrial and economic activity. All right, anyone else have any questions? Okay, let's continue. And I'll ask Jose, could you read for us the beginning of Slow Cities?
Okay, the beginning of slow cities. Citarlow grew out of slow food, a local food movement formed in 1986 to counter the rise of fast food in Italy. 13 years later, Citarlow became a way to expand slow food concepts. The slow philosophy is applied to not only what you eat and drink, but to all aspects of life in a town, said Paolo Saturnini, Citarlow founder.
Thank you. Wonderful. This word here is founded.
Founded.
Yeah, and this one you pronounce correctly, founder, okay?
Okay.
Great. Any questions? No? Okay, in that case, Hamad, can you just...
another question.
Sure.
In UK, is important that movement of slow cities?
That is a very good question. To be honest, this is the first I'd ever heard of it, Aaron. I'd never heard of this before when I came across it, but I found it really interesting because it appeals to me as a person. I like the idea of cities because there's a lot of interesting things that happen there. However, I think sometimes life can be quite stressful, and the idea of having a more maybe just a slower, more valuable sort of a life in a city is interesting. So I don't know, to be honest, how important this is in the UK.
Okay. For example, for my parents,
Yeah.
my mother was born here in Monterrey, but currently she doesn't like here this city now. She prefers a slow city located about 500 kilometers from here. The life is very easy in that small town.
Yeah. All right, thank you. That's interesting. And I think definitely that places change, that is for sure. Maybe we can change them from fast to slow as well as from slow to fast. Who knows? I was just going to ask you, Hamad, can you tell us what Cittaslow is? What exactly is it? And how did it come about?
Yeah. What about slow cities? Slow cities means when the city
Cittaslow.
doesn't. Yeah, city slow is a city in China, I think, and it is founded in 1986.
Yes.
It is yeah, and it is in Italy.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. So let's clarify just so that we're all clear. If we go back to the beginning, sorry, here. We were told about a city called Wenzhou in China, and this is where some residents decided to visit Italy in order to find out about this organization called Cittaslow. So Cittaslow is actually an organization, and Wenzhou is the city in China where the citizens came from. Then if we move down a little bit back to here, the original movement was called slow food. This is where Cittaslow came from. The idea came from this other thing called slow food, which was founded in 1986. So let's just make sure everyone's clear about those, because I know there's quite a few different things happening. Thank you, Hamad. Okay, could you read, please, from Saturnini?
Okay. Saturnini created the organization when he was mayor of Agrive in Chanty to push back against globalization and preserve the unique treasures of Tuscany. He was inspired by the interactions he saw in Italian people, like the market the delegation from Windsor recently visited. He saw value to what happens when people come together face to face, catch up, relax, and take in their surroundings.
Excellent.
So it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll stop there.
Okay,
Thank you, Hamad. Any questions from anybody? No? All right. Natasha, could you read for us from Slow City Principles?
Yes. Slow City Principles stress the importance of things like eating local and seasoned food, shopping at locally owned businesses, and preserving cultural heritage and small operation craftsmanship. Supporters of the movement also emphasize the value of a life where work is not necessarily prioritized above all else, and the importance of making room for nature environments so residents can experience the rhythm of the seasons. Over the years, Citaslow has sought to prove every city has a unique personality that can be preserved and a local community that can be strengthened.
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 Great, thank you. And this one here is emphasize.
Emphasize.
Excellent, thank you. Right, questions about vocabulary from anyone? No? Okay, in that case, I'm going to ask Jose.
Yes.
Can you tell me about what are Slow City Principles exactly?
Slow City Principle exactly is a city where the importance of things are like eating local, season food, shopping and locally owned business, and preserving cultural heritage. And a small operation craftsmanship is not it is not so important the work.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Is
you.
more important the importance of making room for natural environments so residents can experience the rhythm of the seasons.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Jose. So this is a really key paragraph because it kind of outlines exactly what slow city living is really all about. So if you guys, when you were listening to this paragraph being read, what would you say about your own living area? Do you think that any of these principles apply, and do you feel like they're valuable, or do you think that maybe well, perhaps they're not as valuable as these people think? What's your opinion? Anna, what do you think?
About my own town?
Yeah, so how many of these principles do you think are in place in your town? And if they are in place, do you think they're important?
Yes. Um, well, some things here. Um, my gosh. Uh, some things here are very old-fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, people enjoy eating local. Um, there are plenty of stores downtown that are small stores.
Yep.
But we also have some five-star hotels and a mall. Oh my gosh. But teacher, in my opinion, the lifestyle is due to each one and not the environment of the city itself, you know.
Okay.
Because if you are very busy, you have uh, a fast-paced
Okay, so
lifestyle.
yeah, good point, Anna. You think that actually, really for you, the definition of a slow-paced lifestyle is more about your personal lifestyle than what the actual city, what's happening in the actual city, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's just read a little bit more. Keep thinking, guys, because I'm going to come to you too. We're going to skip over a little bit of this. So there's 192 certified slow cities, which means that they must have fewer than 50,000 people. So it's to do with size. We are going to skip over that. It just basically says that slow cities also have to be smart. The technology and infrastructure that the city has is very important. So let's go on to this part here, living out the third story. And is there anybody who would like to read?
I just like teacher because I just read the introduction. It
Go
was
ahead,
very-
Anna. Yeah.
Thank you. Living at the third story. Although some city governments are just now catching on to Citaslow's ideas, individuals have been implementing slow living principles on their own for quite some time. William Powers, a senior fellow at the World Policy Institute in New York City, recently spent a year living slowly in Manhattan, a practice outlined in his new book, New Slow City. Cita-Slow and slow food provided the foundational concepts, said Powers, for his experiments. Carry on?
Yes, please.
In order to slow down in Manhattan, Powers and his wife uncluttered their lives by giving away nearly 8% of their possessions and moving into a 320 square foot apartment. He also downsized his work week by working more efficiently. Instead of facing a constant stream of consulting, writing, and public speaking, Powers assessed his income to time he invested and then squeezed the most strategic tasks into a 2-day work week.
Thank you, Anna. Beautiful reading. Before we ask about questions, we're just going to carry on a little bit longer. So anybody else wanting to read?
Yeah, I will read.
Thank you, Hamad. Living slow.
Living slow, says Powers, starts with each of us creating space to ask the core questions like how do we find balance in a world that is changing more quickly than ever before in history. During his year-long experiment, Powers used his liberated time to explore New York as he strolled downtown flaneur style. He developed his own slow city principle, living at the third story. Every time he walked down the street, he made a conscious effort to observe the sky, trees, and birds above him. He noticed that doing that helped him ignore the often stressful commotion on the city's ground level and instead observe the hawks stalking pigeons from the Washington Square Arc or the leaves changing on the trees growing from the sidewalk.
Thank you, Hamad. Well done. Lovely
Thank
reading from both of you. I just want to go back to this word here because this is one that Aaron was mentioning before. This because we're talking about the noun of people, what belongs to them. We pronounce this lives. It's not the verb, it's the noun, so it's the same pronunciation as TV live or a live sample, okay? Right, does anyone want to ask any questions about any of those paragraphs?
Yes, I have no idea my gosh, where is the word? a French word starting with the letter F. Where is it?
This one?
Yes, I don't know how to pronounce it.
I
Um,
have no idea what this means. I'm going to look this up. It's not an English word. It looks to me like it might be French. Yep, okay. So this word here means, I'll give you the link. According to Wikipedia, it's French and it means a stroller. Okay, so somebody who strolls or saunters or basically walks gently around, enjoying the atmosphere. Does that help, Anna?
sure, teacher, thank you.
Any other questions? No? Alright, so this is exactly what you just mentioned, Anna, before you started reading. The fact that actually on a personal level there are things that we can do or should perhaps do if you want to live a slower life. Aaron, what did you think about the ideas that were mentioned here by this guy Powers? The way that he's sort of tried to slow down his life?
It's interesting the ideas because I took some years ago a sabbatic year,
Yep.
and I feel that you feel I was feeling uh, like Powers,
Mhm.
slow, observing a lot of things, walking
Mhm.
uh, on the streets, in the streets, washing the house, the windows. I don't know, a lot of things that usually you don't see it because
Mm.
you are very fast driving in your car, for example.
Yeah. Okay. And how did you feel if you compare that time in your life to now, for example?
Well, now is a lot of work. I need to work a lot because in my current company there are a lot of projects in the abroad.
Uh-huh.
Um I need to improve my technical abilities, the
Mhm.
programming, my abilities in the languages like English, or improve my in Spanish. How do you say when you speak in
Public speaking.
public speaking in Spanish? Because sometimes we need to speak a lot in the meetings or with
Yeah.
clients,
Mhm.
very aggressive negotiations sometimes.
Yes.
And um, I don't know. That's all.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to ask Jose if you can read this one. I know you're not from Barcelona, but you are from a place which is reasonably near compared to the rest of us. Could you read us this part a little bit about Barcelona, please, Jose?
Okay. Barcelona's mayor and the city chief architect have both been working with Citas Law for years, spearheading the organization's new project, Citas Law Metropole. The project, geared toward bringing slow living principles to big cities, has a long list of participating cities including Busan, South Korea, San Francisco, Rome, and Milan. Barcelona's mayor announced the city's ambitious goal at the 13th Biennale of Architecture in Venice, saying he wants Barcelona to be a city of productive neighborhoods at a human pace, making up a hyper-connected city of zero emissions.
Thank you, Jose. This word here, this is kind of confusing, especially if you're a Spanish speaker, because in English
Okay.
we pronounce it really differently. So it's pronounced mare. Yeah. And if you know the word for a female horse, that's also mare.
Ma.
Yeah, it's the exact same pronunciation, but the spelling is a bit off-putting. um, all right, so here's an example of a city in Spain that's really going hard, I guess, to try and achieve this slow living. And there's a nice photo of Barcelona. Let's just read the next part. So Natasha, could you read inspired by, please?
Yes, of course. Inspired by a lecture given by Olivetti on slow living principles, students at the Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalonia were recently challenged to imagine its neighborhood in Barcelona as a slow city, with each piece connection as one giant smart city. One idea that emerged from IAAC was to transform typically underutilized urban spaces like pedestrian bridges as urban agriculture sites that double as green sanctuaries. I'm sorry, sanctuaries for citizens. More greenery means cleaner air and fresher food, and aligns with the slow principle of keeping nature within reach. I'm sorry,
Thanks,
it's
Natasha.
a lot unknown words.
I know, you did really well. Actually, there's only one I want to go over with you, or two. This one is sanctuaries.
Sanctuaries.
Yes. And this one is emerged.
Emerged.
Yeah,
Emerged.
well done. All right, do you need to ask any questions about the meaning of some of those words? Or does anyone else?
Emerged, it's like imagine, no? Emerge.
No, not imagine. Does anybody know what emerged means? To emerge?
Yes, means to come out.
Very good. To
Oh,
come
thank
out
you.
of. Yep, thanks.
Thank you.
Ahmad, any other words? I want to just point out this one. What is a sanctuary?
Yes, yes. Well, I want to ask about.
Anyone know?
Reserve.
Sorry, Anna, what did you say?
Like a natural reserve.
Okay, yes, in this case it's like a natural reserve. What does the word just alone mean if you just see this word not in a context of nature? Does anyone know?
Something that is holy.
Yes, exactly. It's like a special holy place, or a place where you can get away from other things. It's like a special, isolated, calm sort of area. Okay, so we've basically got a bit of a description of what Barcelona is doing and some ideas about how possibly this slow city thing could change and become more, I don't know, obvious, I suppose, in the future. What do you guys think about this? Do you think this is a good idea? Is it even possible? Do you see any drawbacks to it or difficulties? What do you think, Aaron?
Can you repeat the question, please, teacher?
Sure, just in general, we've learned a bit about Barcelona, and especially this part on the end. It's sort of explaining how how it would become a slow city with each piece connecting and each piece being smart, with the local areas maybe being transformed and becoming a bit greener. What do you think about the idea in general?
Well, I don't know. Generally, it's a good idea because it's beautiful to watching the green areas.
Yep.
For example, here in my city, it's a lot of raining in those last years, last weeks, sorry. Then I see the mountains with a lot of greens. It's very beautiful. The high mountains that usually you see only small trees, only very dry
Mm.
vegetation. It's about this. It's a psychological thing that you feel better if you see a lot of plants, gardens. The people feels better.
Okay, really good point, and I agree, Aaron. I think it's true. When I feel like I'm surrounded by more nature, like trees and birds and plants in a city, I will already feel calmer and I just feel better. I think you're absolutely right there. But do you think this is actually a reachable goal? Is this possible? Because with a city, obviously, there are reasons why we have tarmac and concrete. Do you think it's possible to transform the areas in some way? Hamad, what do you think?
Hamak?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think changing in cities and when they want to become slow cities or like this and where like green, like many things, it will be a good idea to make these cities to be clean
Hmm.
and the surroundings will be very calm and you can live in a safe place and quiet. And as you know, these days life is becoming very fast and the noise is everywhere. You can go and because the industry and they
Hmm.
are making many factories around the cities, but we try to make our environment very clean and very natural to us. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks, Hamad. Um, let's ask Natasha this one. Who do you think is responsible for doing this kind of thing, Natasha? Do you think the responsibility of these changes lies on the residents or the council or maybe even the government?
Oh, really, I don't know. I suppose that it's very strong. It's very difficult issue. Yes, I absolutely agree with the previous speaker that it's a really good idea, and I don't believe that people can reach these goals and do it or I mean on 100%.
Hmm.
Maybe 50% it's like be so because it's really big city. It's really a lot of concrete, a lot of undergrounds, a lot of cars, and hurry pace of live. Yes, people maybe someone of them will be lead to control their life, they live, and try to use more nature environment around them, and be closer to nature. I mean, go for a walk. On street, on a cross bridge, and so on. But living in such big cities and demanding doing a lot of things, not only by they working by, but at home and the educational buildings, they cannot live so slow.
Hmm.
They have to do a lot of things very quickly.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that that's where it comes down to the difference between, like what Anna mentioned, um, your city's environment and how that sort of is either fast or slow, but also personal environment, if you like, how you treat your own life. I think they're connected actually, but they're also different. You know, you're very much more in control of your personal life. However, I think there are things that intercept. So, a very interesting topic. If you would like to read about the other cities that have implemented this kind of thing, keep going. because there's some more interesting stuff to read. I'm sorry that we didn't have time to finish the article today, but thanks all of you for such great contributions, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you guys again soon, I
Okay.
hope. So see you later.
Bye
See
bye.
ya.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye guys.
Take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Thank you, Lord.
Bye.
Yeah, see you.